Okay, so what's up everybody that's watching this live? Thank you for joining me for my initial review of the 140 single and Rapidstrike cards that have been revealed for the Japanese release, which is January 22nd, I believe. These cards are going to be combined, or these two half sets are going to be combined to be our Battle Styles set, which releases on March 19th. Let's just open this link as well while we're here. So for North America, if you're watching this, you're probably not in the Pokemon Company Japan jurisdiction of things, so you're waiting for the American release, the Battle Styles set, which will be the Rapidstrike and Single Strike combined. So Battle Styles, which is going to be released on March 19th in America, will feature over 160 cards, including 60 Battle Style cards, 12 Pokemon V, 6 Pokemon V-Max, 16 Full Art cards, and 2 Special Energy. It will be based on Single Strike and Rapidstrike, which is coming out January 22nd, and all the cards for that have been revealed here. Now, this shows 140 cards. That's not including full arts, rainbows, golden cards, things like that. But I went ahead and counted these, and there are 20 Single Strike and 16 Rapidstrike actually shown here. Do we have to scroll down for the other pictures? No, we don't. So yeah, there's only 16 Single Strike. What did I say? Yeah, 16 Single Strike, and actually the picture's updated. We're missing some now. But yeah, there's 20 Single Strike and 16 Rapidstrike cards in this set reveal, and all the pictures aren't even up here yet. I guess some of the pictures have moved to down here, but yeah, so I counted 20 Single Strike, 16 Rapidstrike, which equals 36 altogether. And we know here it says 60 Battle Style cards, and if we go to the official Pokemon.com US website, we'll see here it says 60 Battle Style cards. Yeah, this site just has a lot of people going. But so we know for the American release on March 19th, we're getting 60 Battle Style cards. There are not 60 Battle Style cards in this Japanese reveal, which has left me to be confused. So take that with what you will. I wanted to talk about that before we go into reviewing these cards, but these are not all of the cards we'll be getting in our American release in March, as far as it looks right now, which is very weird because Japan historically gets all of the cards first, and then those cards just make up our set. But I don't know what's happening here. So it looks like we're missing 24 Battle Style cards, unless they're doubling up and including Full Art and Rainbow and all of that, which I highly doubt they are, and I would be highly disappointed if that was what they're doing. So it says 140 cards. We're going to look through them. Of course, we might skip through cards that we've already reviewed on the channel, or cards that just look like they're bulk. And I also have this Twitter pulled up with some translations for any of the ones that PokeBeach has not done already, but we're going to take a look. I should take this moment to shout out PotownStore.com, the best place for you to get PTCGO codes. Be sure to use code CELIO for 5% off over at PotownStore.com. They are a very reliable, quick, and easy to use website for buying all of your Pokemon TCG online codes that you might need to collect and play the game. If you're live in chat right now watching me record this, I'm going to just leave the link for Potown in case you need it, but if you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description as always. So let's get into looking at the Single Strike Master and Rapidstrike Master translations that were revealed on January 14th and will be releasing on January 22nd over in Japan. So let's see, we have a Cacnea and Cacturne. Cacturne does a maximum of 130 for 2 energy, grass type, not going to be anything to look at there. We've got Durant, which is a spiritual reprint for 2 colorless. It has Devour. For each of your Durant in play, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So for a twin energy, you can mill 4 cards. Probably not going to be good currently. Maybe could be good eventually if we get more mill cards back, since they, you know, ripped Balloba Bryceman out of our hands and banned it in standard. Scatterbug, Spupa, Vivillon. Oh, actually, so wait, these are, okay, Scatterbug is not involved with Yes, it is. This confused me for a moment because this says a stage 1 card Pavilion, but it's actually a stage 2 card. Okay, so Pavilion is the last part of that evolution line. Forgive me for not knowing these Pokemon. They're pretty irrelevant. Vital Powder, heal all damage from 2 of your bench Pokemon. I thought this was a stage 1 when I first read it and said, hey, that's not the worst, but this is a stage 2. That absolutely sucks. That sucks. Sucky. Sucky. Flapple V, Sour Saliva, 20 during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon's attacks cost colorless more. That would be great if we had item lock in the format, because your opponent can just switch or escape rope right out of it. If this said, during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attacks cost colorless more, and switching does not remove this effect, then that would be pretty awesome. But it doesn't say that, so this card's pretty useless as of now. And then Flapple V-Max, I was so upset when I saw another V-Max with just 1 attack, no options at all. Like, we might as well just, like, I don't know. This, whew, very upset about this. Like, I feel like they're trying to make these cards for, like, kindergartners. Like, you can make dumbed down effects of cards, or like easy to learn cards for like starter decks if you really want to. But come on, do you really want your flashy cards and the cards that your competitors are supposed to be building around to be these absolutely bland cards? Like, they look cool, but the actual effect in game, it's terrible. Like, there's no choices to be made here. And it's just, this is sickening. Like, so, even, yeah, Gassy, great point. Even Blastoise VMAX in the starter deck has 2 attacks. I'll say it again, if you guys are new to the channel, if you're watching live or on YouTube, whatever it may be, if you haven't seen my video talking about the golden age of modern Pokemon, I talk about how the Sun and Moon era GX cards had 3 attributes. They either had 3 attacks or an ability and 2 attacks, including a GX attack, and almost all of the abilities and attacks were relevant to use at some point, so you actually had to use a decision-making skill to which attack you want to use. Whereas these cards they're giving us now, it's, well, I could attack or I could not attack. I mean, which one is it? Do I attack or do I not attack? There's no choices to make. This is just absolute garbage. So I should actually read the attack. Gmax rolled as 250, minus 10 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Garbage. Just getting back into the game, what deck should I build as a beginner? I used to play Baby Blounds. Check out my recent videos about the best decks in Standard on YouTube, exclamation YouTube, if you're watching this live, of course, everybody. I covered the newer build of Baby Blounds, which is, some are referring to it as Tempo Zard, but Baby Blounds is still very good. Still like high tier 2, low tier 1-ish category. On with the set review. Entei, bad. Tepig, Pignite, and Emboar. Okay, so these are actual single strike Pokemon, right? Yeah. So Tepig, Pignite, and Emboar, single strike line. Something that we found out a week or two ago is that the pre-evolutions will all also be single strike. I like the arts on these Pokemon as well. So this is cool. Single strike Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. But it is a stage 2 Pokemon, so we'll actually see if that ever gets to be played at a tournament. Salandit with a call for family, or call sign, search your deck for a Pokemon to your hand, not to your bench. Salazzle, we've seen this already, taunt and burn 90 times for each special condition affecting your opponent's active Pokemon. I might have been a little rough on this guy. Maybe it's better than I thought. I just hate that the way they're gonna bring, I don't know, like, if you're gonna, I don't want single prizers to be relevant by just blowing things up, but I do want them to make single prizers that are so good that they force they force people to stop playing V-Maxes or like be cautious or build their decks to have other attackers and options. Like, we just don't have options. Everything is just so linear. There's one strategy. That's the problem. But oh, I'm working it cheated out, right, with the mustard supporters. So okay, maybe it's not totally useless. Yeah, I forgot about the mustard supporters. Tapu Koko V, Tapu Koko V-Max, we already saw, and I think they're solid. Refresh the page. Yeah, maybe we'll get some images and some of the other translation. Oh yeah, they're okay. We're getting images. Beautiful. What did we miss here? Electabuzz, Electivire. 180 for 4 and then can't use it again. Well, if you're putting 4 energy on 140 HP Pokemon, you just lost the game, because there goes your entire energy investment. Tapu Koko V, Tapu Koko V-Max are solid. I did a video on those the other day if you want to go check it out. Spiral Thunder, 20 plus damage. It does 40 more damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon, so I think this is a great attack. And Max Shock 180, and if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent's active your opponent's active is now paralyzed, so I like this guaranteed paralysis, and the fact that Tapu Koko V is a playable card. This is what cards should look like. We need V Pokemon that are actually playable, and you would say, oh, well, I want to play Tapu Koko V. Maybe I'll even throw in a Tapu Koko V-Max. Not that the only reason we're playing these things are for the V-Max, and we just happen to have to play the V Pokemon, so they sit there for a turn. This is good, because I like the V, arguably maybe more than the V-Max. And we already have a good Tapu Koko V in Sword and Shield base. Yamper, when you play this card from your hand to your bench, you can put a Pokeball or Great Ball from discard to your hand. Great Ball's not the worst card. And then this, for if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, the attack for this cost, the cost for this attack is Lightning. Okay, so you do 130 for Lightning if you have damage on you. Not good. And Corner's useless because we have Switch and they're reprinting Escape Rope, so that's useless. Bulk. This is cool. Probably going to be completely irrelevant for its lifespan because of the HP of Pokemon and how much one damage counter doesn't matter in most of the time right now. Once during your turn, you may move one damage counter from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I also hate that it has to be so pigeonholed. Like, just make it move a damage from anywhere to anywhere else. It's still not going to be played. Just make it a little better. Push everything up a little bit. You think that we replace the VMAX Coco with Choo-Choo and Pikarom? No, you don't replace Choo-Choo, I don't think. But there's a world where maybe you could play a 1/1 line of that Coco, or even just the Coco V. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Meowstic adds another 60 damage for Sable IV's attack. But how are you really getting the damage down for Sable IV? You're getting it down with Zigzagoon, so you could just place it there in the first place. Roxy will rotate by the time most of these cards even get a chance to try to be relevant, right? Mimikyu we already saw. You may use this ability once during your turn when you play this card from your hand onto your bench until the end of your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. And then Envying Eyes, put 3 damage counters to your opponent's active for each prize card your opponents have taken. This card is actually so well designed. It's so creative. It's so cool. It's so different and unique. It's probably underpowered, and they can just get around this with Gust and Escape Rope. But like, if they made more things like this, then this wouldn't be underpowered, because all the things they make just say blow up your opponent's active Pokemon. But this wouldn't be underpowered if they didn't make these standout cards that are just not even the Pokemon card game anymore. And I worry that this video is going to turn into a rant, and it probably is, and I'm sorry if you don't enjoy that. And, you know, you can click thumbs down on the video right now and subscribe, whatever. But I'm just so passionate about the Pokemon trading card game, and if you've been here for a while, you'll know that I get just so fired up when I see them ruining the game. Because I've played this game since I was, like, 5, right? Or whatever age I was. And it's been the most consistent part of my life outside of my family for my entire life. And they've just ruined the game so much in the past year and a half. And this isn't me, you know, getting upset about what's happening in the present. I'm not looking at things through rose-colored glasses or goggles or whatever the heck that saying is. I've been playing in online tournaments where I have to do this pass thing on PTCGO because I want to play formats where the game was actually the game. This is not the Pokemon trading card game anymore. And you'll see on my channel I've been making more retro content, and I'm trying to get kind of the views up for retro content so I can keep the channel going with some of this retro stuff, like, you know, the 2004 stuff, the 2017, the 2018. I'm making a gauntlet of 2018 Worlds decks, and we just got into 2021. It shouldn't be that much of a difference. But Worlds 18 was fantastic. Worlds 17, NAIC 17 and 18, those were all fantastic. And then by the time we got to NAIC 19, like they don't. It's like they don't want us to play the game anymore. Like Speed Resolve saying in the chat. I feel the same way. It's sad they're pushing us away. Like, I get that we're not where Pokemon makes the money, and Komisar brought this up earlier in the chat. He said, you know, like, we are never the main audience. Like, we're not what they care about. And I agree with that if we're talking about the Pokemon franchise, right? Like Nintendo, Game Freak, the whole franchise. Like, they make the anime, the figures, the video games, posters, shirts. Like, they make so much money on all of that. About 10% is Pokemon TCG, and then the competitive players are a percent of that percent, right? So the competitive players, people like me, we're not who the franchise itself is worried about, but Creatures Incorporated, the people making the TCG, the people who make the card game, the people who claim in the articles that they're making this for the players to find new competitive, unique, fun ways to build decks and build the meta and watch the meta develop and things like that. They say they're making it for us, the players. Like, I don't see why they, like, I don't know. Like, the game, what Mighty Anna said. Mighty Anna, if y'all don't know, runs ptcgarchive.com, an amazing website that I use every day for looking at old decks and printing out proxies for the old decks that I don't have the money to actually buy real cards for. Mighty Anna said in the chat, I went full retro when I saw ADP printed. It's just not the game I loved anymore. It's really not. And I'm so connected to the community and my channel and like you guys watching this right now, and it's, I don't know. If I didn't have this community, if I didn't have my channel and whatnot, I probably would have ended up quitting the Pokemon TCG by now. But my channel keeps me going. My clients, my patrons, you know, the fun moments I do happen to have sometimes in Standard. The competition really keeps my drive going. But yeah. If I didn't find myself being a content creator for Pokemon TCG for the past 3 years, I think I would have probably quit Darkness Ablaze, because Darkness Ablaze just pushed more linear things down our throats. Yo, Mad Zenith with the Twitch Prime, thank you so much. Thank you. And Annoying Dog, thank you for the follow. Minty Burst, thank you for the follow. Cholula, the new cards are that bad, huh? They're not. Okay, I will say this. So I didn't want to put too much weight on this set. Like, some of you may have already heard me say in like the past week or so, this one set isn't going to fix everything. But I was expecting to see new kinds of design, maybe. Like, it doesn't look like they understand. Like, they print things like Mimikyu V to give us the sense of uniqueness. But this Mimikyu V, let's be real, when the cards we're dealing, when they have Escape Rope and Boss's Orders and Switch and whatever, like, we're never going to get to a point where this Mimikyu V is a very good card. So, Dankarai, so I think, so right now people are looking at ADP as the scapegoat for fixing the game. And ADP isn't the problem, it's tag teams. Tag teams have always been the problem. And those three prize Pokemon, those big basics, because you don't have to use the deck space. It's less commitment, it's less time, more HP, everything. Y'all have heard me say it before. I say it every time I'm on Twitch, just about. I think in Sword and Shield On, people are looking at Zacian as the scapegoat. Zacian is a correct card. I made a Twitter video about it when it got revealed over a year ago, and I was like, oh, well, at least they didn't give the card draw support, right? Like, they put everything into Zacian V. It has everything you could want. It has a one-shot attack, it has high HP on a basic, it has draw, it has built-in energy acceleration, it has a type that's heavily supported in the game. But Zacian going out isn't going to make the game skill-based, because guess what? We have Eternatus. And what do you do with Eternatus? You either attack or you don't with one attack. You either say Dread End or you pass your turn. With Centiskorch, you say Centiferno or you pass your turn. With the new V-Maxes we're about to get to today, you use their single attack or you pass your turn. There are no options like there were with Alolan Ninetales GX, with Golisopod GX, with Drampa GX, Espeon GX, Zoroark GX. These cards that were out in standard just 2 years ago. Things have gotten so bad in such a short time. And it's not a case of, you know, item lock or ability lock or having to tech for things, having to build your deck. That's a game. That's actually that's a real game when you actually have to think, you know, and try to be good. And right now it's just so unrewarding. Like, you see these Pokemon with just one attack. They don't do it for me. So, end rant for now. Let's go back to the review. I should say this for people who are here that aren't always here. For those of you who know what the Prime Pokemon were in 2011, they were the flashy chase cards of the set, but they did not have elevated power level. They did not have a new mechanic, so people could still buy cards looking for the flashy holo rares and the cool looking cards with the different borders, but they didn't affect gameplay in a negative way. They were stage 1 and stage 2 Pokemon, a lot of them, so and Legend Pieces the same way. They didn't affect the game in a negative way. If Eternatus V and Centiskorch V were better cards, agree. And then they got rid of Mill, they got rid of Belelba, yep. Goldfish PTCG, what's up? It ebbs and flows, they went from EX format to all single prizes, they can do it again. I agree that it did happen, and I agree they could do it again, but with every set release I lose hope. I do think we're in the transitional period where if there's a transition that happens, this would be the middle point. If anyone hasn't seen my History of Power Creep video on YouTube yet, by the way, guys, huge thank you for the support. On the Power Creep history video. It's like almost 6,000 views, I think, over on YouTube. But if you didn't watch that yet, I showed with graphs and charts and timelines and all those fancy things to get you to watch the video, how the Power Creep went from the big basic problematic era of 2012 to 2014 to the Sun and Moon era, which the Sun and Moon era is still highly revered as one of the best formats the game has ever had. And so we went from that really problematic era of Mewtwo EX wars, of the Plasma Deck wars, of Darkrai EX being the best attacker, Yveltal EX being the best attacker, and these things that just need a couple energy, they have a main attack, and they're big basics, to the glorious days of early Sun and Moon. So yeah, Eternatus V and Centiskorch V do have times when you don't want to evolve into their V-Max for very strategic purposes, but the way I'm thinking is more along the lines of Victini V and Tapu Koko V, which the Victini V and Tapu Koko V can be standalone cards that do not even need the V-Max in the deck. But sometimes you might want the V-Max in the deck. That's what I'm talking about. So next we have Primape with Frenzy Bomb. So for fighting, 50 times damage. This attack does 50 damage for each of your bench Pokemon with any damage counters on them. So with this, you could use Donphan to damage everything on your bench. You can use Houndoom, which attaches energy to things and then puts damage counters on them. So Frenzy Bomb could be really, really good. I think it does need Houndoom to survive, since you will need extra energy attachments to chain Primape, since they're going to be knocked out at only 120 HP. But I think this is a solid card. This is... So you're going to need Primapes, you're going to need Houndooms, and then some other single strike backup attackers, but we don't even see a lot of single strike and rapid strike. Oh, XP share, good point, Talonite. You can use XP share in this, so that, yep, good point. The problem with evaluating the single strike and rapid strike, like I said at the beginning of the video, I think we were supposed to see 60 battle style cards here in this set, and there's only 36, so there's not even that many single strike and rapid strike cards to combine with each other yet. And I know they're spreading them out. There's going to be more in the next Japanese set, but North America is supposed to get 60, so I don't know what's going on there. But there's not a lot to talk about, like, oh, this is a good card because we have this other good single strike card, and then this other good single strike card that can be splashed in. You're going to need to dodge ADP, yeah. Yes, you are. Bulk. Colossal we already saw. It's a flippy card. Stonejourner single strike. Okay. 30 damage if there's a stadium card in play. This does 30 more damage, and then Giga Hammer does 120. Yikes. Well, that's bad. It's only an uncommon. Okay, well, that's good at least. Yeah, the tourney was over. It was just a 5-round Swiss tournament. Just a light one tonight. I went 2 and 3. My mom went 3 and 2. It was fun. I never play old cities formats, so that was fun. Now, of course, we do have Urshifu V and Urshifu V-Max. The Urshifu V, actually solid for just the V Pokemon. Laser Focus for fighting energy. Search your deck for up to 2 fighting energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon. Very solid. And then Impact Blow does 180 and you can't use it next turn. Very solid again. So the V Pokemon can actually knock out Pikarom and Eternatus, you know, the big fighting type Pokemon in the format. In the 2015-2016 city tournaments, I played Yveltal Zora Gallade, and my mom played Philip Schultz's second place Seismitoad deck from the European Cup Challenge 2016. Oh, and Single Strike Energy adds 20 damage. Okay, so we should also include that when we're talking about these cards, so that there's a possibility that they do plus 20. So yeah, that good information to know, Gassy. I forgot about that. And then this is Single Strike Urshifu V-Max, so 330 HP, fighting type Pokemon, and it has 2 attacks. Now, would I like there to be more than 2 attributes? Yes, but you know, honestly, I'll take having 2. Because it's been hard to even get 2 attacks on a VMAX Pokemon. And 2 fairly usable attacks at that. So we have Beatdown for colorless, doing 100 damage. And of course, if we have a single strike or 2, this could be doing 120 or even 140, which isn't bad. You can set up a nice 2-shot on a VMAX Pokemon. And then Gmax 1 Blow, fighting colorless, 270. Discard all energy from this Pokemon, and the attack's damage is not affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this goes through Decidueye, it goes through Zamazenta V. It's 2 important things that it can go through. It can go through something like that Mimikyu V that we talked about, its ability. Zubat, Golbat, Crobat, interesting line of Pokemon. Golbat, when you evolve it, you draw 2 cards. Crobat, when you evolve it, you draw 3 cards. Somebody pointed out that if this was going to be played, then Inteleon from Sword and Shield base would have been played, which was a very cool card that I tried to make work. Once during your... So, Inteleon line is basically the middle line gets to search for any item card, and then the Inteleon gets to search for any 2 item cards, or any 2 trainer cards, I think. So I think if those were played right now, then we would see these be played eventually. The one thing is, of course, this can be played in Eternatus to fill up dark Pokemon bench spots, which is good. Equinox Gaming, isn't the ability to one-shot V-Maxes kind of bad for the game? So this Pokemon, 270, so if you have 2 single strike energies, you're going to be doing 310, which doesn't one-shot Centiskorch, doesn't one-shot Eternatus, let's say it has a weakness guard. If Eternatus didn't have weakness guard, it wouldn't knock it out. I don't think it knocks out the new Metal V-Max that we'll look at soon. But in a world where one V-Max was knocking out... Let's look at it this way. Eternatus V-Max does 270 for 2 energy, and it can swing that all game. 270, 270, 270, swing through everything. Gmax 1 blow does 270 and discards all energy. Not 1, not 2, all 4 energy are going to be taken off. So if this became somehow the best VMAX Pokemon, that would be insanely good for the game, because this is not an efficient attacker versus single prize Pokemon. If you have to do Gmax 1 blow for 270 and like overkill a single prizer by 150 damage, or you have to do beatdown for 100 or a couple more than 100 with single strike and just barely miss knocking out a single prize Pokemon, then that would be really good for the health of the meta. Because if this Pokemon was clearing out all of their VMAXs and then it was not doing well versus single prize, there would be a nice balance. The problem right now is a Centiskorch can get set up and just run through a board, and Eternatus can get set up and just run through a board. ADP Zacian just ignores everything and just kills anything it sees. I think this, where it has to discard all that energy to one-shot a big thing, and it has the option to do a littler amount of damage for less energy attachments, but it might not even reach the knockout that it needs on the smaller Pokemon. I think that's good. So that's looking insane right now, very hyped. The Urshifu VMAXs are great, I will give it that. I'm disappointed about the rest of the cards we've seen in this reveal, because there's like nothing good that we didn't already know about, I feel like. But I feel like I might have gotten a little negative, but I'm glad you're excited, Equinox, because I don't want to take the hype away from anybody else. Because I get excited about Pokemon. I'm happy when other people are getting excited about Pokemon, you know? And there are some really great things happening with this set. Okay, so Galarian Slowbro. If this Pokemon's affected by a special condition, it does 220 for Dark plus Twin Energy. Not the worst. Probably not playable, but honestly a nice chunk of damage. Haunch Crow, this Pokemon can't be asleep. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any special energy attached to it, this does 80 more damage. So when we switching over to the Digimon TCG, Digimon seems cool, but I'd rather just play retro Pokemon all day. So if this was for like a twin energy, like, come on, you could have made this for like a single dark. Houndour just, oh, cool art on the Houndour. Houndour just here to evolve into Houndoom, which we've seen already, but I think this is a great card. And this is one of the things that got me excited about this set, but then we saw no more of things like this. in the reveal today, which that's what I'm so disappointed about. So the Single Strike Roar allows you to search your deck for a Single Strike energy and attach it to a Single Strike Pokemon. Shuffle your deck, put 2 damage counters on the Pokemon you attach it to. The Salazzle, it does 90 times each special condition. That's in this set. We already glanced at that one. So Houndoom, amazing card, very balanced. It's on stage 1. Tyranitar V, we've already seen. Single Strike Pokemon, discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, does 60, and then Single Strike Crush does 240, discard the top 4 cards. So, while this isn't exactly like what I was talking about with, having more options and more attacks per V and V-Max card, I like this one for the reason that it scales up pretty well, actually. It does 60 and discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck for 3 energy, and then for just 1 more energy, it's swinging for 240 and discard the top 4 cards of your deck. So with the Single Strike Houndoom around, this card could actually be not that bad. If you attach turn 1, turn 2 attach and evolve into 2 Houndooms, you swing 240 and discard the top. Oh, it's of your deck. Oh, okay. Single Strike Crush, you're making a little more sense now. It's of your deck. The first one discards from your opponent's deck. The second one has a drawback. Okay, that's making more sense. Like it a little less, but it still scales insane from just 3 energy doing 60 to 4 energy doing 240. Morpeko, choose an item card from your discard pile, put it into your hand. Decent. Also scales with Emboar potentially, true. And we have the Mustard supporters that are like Maxi Archie. Just gave the page a little refresh. So, Mawile. This is a Single Strike Pokemon. It does 100 and isn't affected by effects, so Piercing Punch can get through things. If you needed a Pokemon that does that, there you go, you have Mawile. Bronzong. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a metal energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. I forget who pointed this out. It might have been Zach Rahul or Isaiah on the Faded Town podcast. But you could use this as energy acceleration for Pokemon, because you Metal Saucer to the Bronzong and then move that Metal Saucer off to the Pokemon you're trying to accelerate to. Of course, this could also be used for tanking with the new supporter that lets you, I think it's Cheryl, that lets you heal your Pokemon with your VMAX Pokemon, your evolved Pokemon. We'll look at it. It's in the set. But Bronzong's a usable card. Lets you move your metal energy around as often as you like. The Aegis Lashes are not great, but they're cool. Like, the stance change. I'm glad to see the stance change back. So, the ability Stance Change allows you to switch this Aegis Slash with one in your hand. And basically, we have the Aegis Slash that it's going to go slash slash on a sword. And then you have the Aegis Slash that is a big shield boy. So this one has Full Metal Blade. It does for 3 energy, 210, and discard metal energy from this Pokemon. And then the other one does Giganto Bash, 70, and then can't be hit by VMAX next turn. They're fine, but especially with the stuff we have coming out in this set that gets through effects like this, like the Urshifu, like the supporter Phoebe, I don't think these are actually playable. Cool design. I always say when you have a cool design like this, they just need to buff it. Like, if you think a stage 2 might be fringe playable, just give it some more. The worst thing you could do is make a stage 2 busted. That's the worst thing you could do. That would be great. Sorbert and Shielbert supporters were announced for Japan promos, and it was a terrible card. Spiro Firo. Firo does Drill Peck for 70. Licky Licky, your opponent discards the top 3 cards of their deck, or they can choose 3 cards from their hand and discard them instead. That's bad. Bad. You don't want your opponent to choose. If you got to choose, correct card. Your opponent chooses, no bueno. Stoutland, because we needed to take more prize cards. I don't think this is a problem outside of ADP, but ADP maybe gets this as an attacker versus single prize Pokemon. Yeah. So somebody asked in the chat, do I think Spiritomb gets better with an Escape Rope reprint? The reason why I waited to answer that was because we got to here. If Spiritomb, by the grace of Arceus, became a high tier meta deck yet again, ADP just techs in a Stoutland, and now boom, you're taking 3 prizes on each Spiritomb. As Gassy is saying, ADP only has to kill 2 Bunnelby now versus Mad Party. So if there was ever a chance for a deck like that to come back, ADP just says, don't worry guys, I have Stoutland V. I'm taking another prize card. It does say that the defending basic Pokemon is knocked out, so it has to be defending basic. It can't be a stage 1 evolved Pokemon or anything like that. The way I look at it, I want them to make some broken single prize Pokemon that just says, knock out your opponent's V-Max, knock out your opponent's V Pokemon, knock out your opponent's Tag Team GX Pokemon. Like, just do something like that that makes people have to build more varied decks. Like, obviously they're never going to do that, but to the effect that it's something that would cause that kind of effect. For those who were playing about 2 years ago when Pika-Rom first came out, Pika-Rom could not be a Pika-Rom deck. It was actually heavily played as a Jirachi Zapdos deck in the early game until you could use Pika-Rom at a strategic point in the game. It was a box. It used Zapdos, it used Jolteon GX as a 2-prize attacker, and then it used Pika-Rom as a 3-prize attacker. It was not just, let's slap down these big basics and use them. You had to actually use them at the right time, or you got heavily punished because your opponent would just go in with all single prizers and they would take, boom, 6 prizes. So you couldn't just play Pika-Roms. The game is no longer like that. You can just play your Pika-Roms now. So this card would be fine if ADP wasn't around, maybe. Completely unnecessary to make. Flapple V and Flapple V-Max, I think we covered that already. Flapple V, the first attack would be fine if they didn't just reprint Escape Rope. And so basically, for any time you see the opponent's Pokemon can attack next turn, the opponent's Pokemon's attacks cost more, the opponent's Pokemon does anything, that is garbage unless they somewhere along the line add the text, switching or evolving does not remove this effect. So if you could Sour Saliva to do 20, which by the way would do 0 damage to Zacian because it's resistant. So let's say you're doing it to an ADP to make it cost +2 more. They just switch Air Balloon and they're good to go. If they couldn't do that and you can actually stall them out with this 20 damage, 20 damage, 20 damage, 20 damage, until they could rack up the energy because they can't just switch out to remove this effect, that would actually make this card a consideration for decks that run Aurora or Grass type energy. Okay, Drampa, bad. So Escape Rope reprint, this is fine, but if they knew they were printing this, why not make the Empoleon V in this set better? Because the Empoleon V could have just shut off everything, and your opponent has escape ropes to get around it. Like, that's something that really bothers me. Vitality Jar, we've seen it shuffles 2 single strike energy from discard to deck. Cool. Camping Gear, search for any card, but then your turn ends. I don't think this will be played, or I don't think it should be played. Single strike Raging Scroll, single strike and Rapid Strike each get a Raging Scroll. They're very cool. Single strike Pokemon this card is attached, you can use the attack on this card. So it can attack for 1 fighting, 10 plus damage. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So, really cool item. I like that. XP Share Reprint. A reprint of Special Charge would be good. We're not getting a reprint of Special Charge anytime soon, specifically because of this. We would not be getting something that shuffles 2 single strike in if we were going to get a Special Charge. So I wouldn't expect Special Charge to reprint it anytime in the next year to 2. XP Share. So, for those of you who don't know, when your opponent's when your active is knocked out by damage, you may move 1 basic from that Pokemon to the card this is attached to. So, you get to reuse your basic energy, basically. Full card. Bruno, shuffle your hand, draw 4. If a Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, draw 7 instead. I honestly think if this was a straight reprint of Cynthia's Feelings from Legends Awakened, and it said draw 8, this might see play. I don't see any reason to play this over Marnie. Marnie's just better because it can just literally win you the game by dumping your opponent's good cards to the bottom of their deck and then they can't draw out of it. So just play Marnie instead. Do I think XP Share replaces Air Balloon? No, you need Air Balloon sometimes to get the turn 1 alter. Phoebe, during this turn, damage from the attacks of your Pokemon V-Max aren't affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. I don't like this because it just gives V-Max decks another easy way out to get around the Decidueye, Zamazenta and stuff, when you could encourage them to actually play non-V Pokemon. Ooh, spooky. But instead, they gave us Phoebe, so you don't have to play those horrible, disgustingly bad non-V Pokemon, and instead you can just play the supporter. Mustard Single Strike. You can only play this card if it's the last card in your hand. Search your deck for a single strike Pokemon and put it onto your bench to draw 5 cards. Beautiful design. So good. They future-proofed themselves so this doesn't become cracked like Maxie's and Archie's had problems with and Maxie's got banned. This can only work for single strike Pokemon. It's a finite pool of cards, so they can just check it and say, will this be, too good if we have Mustard Single Strike to use it, or for Mustard Rapid Strike? There's a finite pool of cards, so this is really, 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 really well designed. Tower of Darkness, once during their turn, each player... Oh yeah, this gets it from deck. I'm sorry if I said discard, but this gets it from deck. The other one gets it from discard, because single strike Pokemon are... like Urshifu V-Max needs a lot of energy to attack, so getting that from deck isn't a problem. Whereas the Rapid Strike one, you have Rapid Strike energy that supplies 2 energy at a time, so maybe getting that from deck would be a little different. So you have to get the Rapid Strike one from discard, I believe. Tower of Darkness, once during their turn, each player may discard a single strike card from their hand and draw 2 cards. I really, really like this. That's good. Consistency is good. Single strike energy, it provides dark and fighting, but only 1 at a time. Attacks from the Pokemon this card is attached to do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. It can only be attached to a single strike Pokemon. Awesome, solid, great design, love it. On to the Rapid Strike, which is the other set. Bellsprout, Weepin' Bell, which when it evolves from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon burnt and poison, and this combines with the Salazzle. And then Panic Vine on Victory Bell. Your opponent's active is confused and can't retreat next turn. Again, good thing they have Escape Rope in this set. Now you could play Force Switch for Escape Rope if you really wanted to. Cricketune, really well designed cards. See guys, there are really great cards in this set. But there's just a lot of cards that are like really bland and it's like, what's the point in even making these? And I don't expect every single card in a set to be playable. Nobody expects that. But in Pokemon, there's so many less playable cards in a set than in another game like Magic the Gathering, where Magic the Gathering has draft formats, so every card has some type of purpose. But this Crickettoon's really great, so I'm happy about this. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may draw cards until you have 4 cards in your hand. This actually feels like a card that I would like create and like say, oh, I wish they'd make a card like this, because it has depth to it. It's not just draw some cards. It's, if it's on the bench, draw until you have 3. If it's in the active, draw until you have 4. Then you have to retreat it. So there's a drawback. There's a payoff for putting it in the active. Good card, great card. It'll see play at some time in its lifespan. Even if it's not eventually, it'll see play eventually. Even if it's not immediately, it'll see play eventually. Let's see, we've got Charim. Stage 1, as often as you like, you can attach grass energy from your hand to anything that's not a rule box Pokemon. Rule box are V, V-Max, GX, EX, Prism. Those are the rule box Pokemon. Carnivine, bad. Fomantis, Lurantis, bad. Tapu Bulu, Nature's Judgment. Oh god. Nerfed down Nature's Judgment. It does less damage than it used to as the GX. That's sad. It does, right? Or no, did the GX... Yeah, the GX did 180, I think, right? So Nature's Judgment, but this time it sucks. Blipabug. So Victini V, Victini V-Max. They should have just reprinted the old Victini V because it's better. V-Bullet 10 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a V, it does 60 instead. And then the V-Max has Spreading Flames, which is the exact attack from the Sword and Shield Victini V, which I'm kind of confused about. Attach 3 fire from your discard to your Pokemon any way you like. Just give it a different attack so there's a reason to stay at the old Victini V. And then Victory Max for 100 plus. If your opponent's active as a V, this attack does 120 more, so it does 220. Solid, but this is another card that falls into that category of a normal V-Max has 320 HP, so you need to do like 160 twice to one-shot it. So it ends up with you're dealing all this extra damage against other V-Maxes. So they could just make it do less damage, but in that case you wouldn't be one-shotting Vs, which might be good because then your opponent can actually build Pokemon that will stay on the board for more than one turn. Centiskorch, as long as this Pokemon is in play, whenever your opponent flips heads for a burned Pokemon, that Pokemon remains burned. We don't really need things to remain burnt that bad as far as I know. Kingdra, this one's cool. Probably won't be played. It's a stage 2 Pokemon. Just assume they won't be played. But it's cool. It is cool. The ability is Lord of the Ocean Depths. I need to get a little closer for that one. Lord of the Ocean Depths. It's a very epic ability name. When your active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, you may choose any number of water energy attached to that Pokemon and move them to this Pokemon. So, let's imagine that this thing gets racked up with 8 energy, right? 8 times 4 is 320. Did I do that right? Yeah. So, let me let you guys in a little secret. Even if this little dude has 8 basic water energy attached to it, it's still not knocking out Eternatus V-Max. 8 energy, that's a lot of energy. So Aqua Burst does 40 for every water energy attached. So let's say you're 2-shotting V-Max. I mean, that's fine. Honestly, I'll take that. As long as you're able to set up 4 Kingdras, these Kingdras will cycle through each other. So when the active gets knocked out, those waters go to the next one. When that gets knocked out, the waters go to the next one. And then, of course, you could play, you know, Oh, but wait, you have to play Frostmoth. So you're playing Frostmoth with a stage 2 Pokemon that you have to set up at least 2 of before the first one gets knocked out. You have to set up at least 2 of the first of Kingdra before you let that first one go out into the active and die, because you have to have the second one waiting on deck to get the water energy from the one that just got knocked out. So you need Frostmoth, you need Kingdra, you need the first Kingdra to be on the bench, because that's where Frostmoth's attached to, which is fine. That's balanced. Everything else isn't balanced. You need to draw into all of those water energy. Let's say like 6 to do a considerable amount of damage. Let's stop. Let's say 5. 5 energy to do 200. Considerable amount of damage for a Pokemon that's taking all of this gosh darn setup. But you also, like I said, you have to have all those conditions met to even get through the first couple turns. We need a Pichu HGSS reprint. No, we don't. We need a Pichu HGSS reprint, and then we also need them to tell us that we can attack with that Pokemon on the first turn. What they need to do with baby Pokemon... Oh, true. Your first dagger doesn't have to be Kingdra. It could be something else, and then the active gets... Very true, Illuminathan. Yo, what's up, Adam? So, where was I going? I was going on a rant. Pichu HGSS. If they reprinted it, it couldn't even be played really, because you have to go second to use the attack going first. What they need to do is make baby Pokemon and give baby Pokemon a new rule, because baby Pokemon have had several different rules in the lifespan of the game. And it says baby Pokemon can attack even if you're going first. Give them a free attack like Playground, like Eek, like Magby's thing that burnt things, whatever it is. Give baby Pokemon a new rule, says you can attack going first. End rant number 3 of the video. Kingdra, not the worst stage 2 I've seen today. Okay, Galarian Mr. Rhyme with the attack ball juggling. You can discard as many balls as you want from your hand, and this attack does 40 more damage for each card you discard in this way. So, I imagine to get to the point where you are attacking with these Galarian Mr. Rhymes, you had to use some of those balls search to actually get them out. But then to attack with it, you have to discard more. But then how are you going to set up the next Galarian Mr. Rhyme? I'm not forgetting about Yamper. I'm just not even bringing it into the equation, my Deanna. I promise. Yamper has been in my mind this whole time. This is just laughably bad. Get it out of your system, chat. They're all the puns are coming in. Come on, get it out. Oh god. Okay. Isn't Whimsicott not that good for 1 energy and having U-turn board, so this is hot garbage? Whimsicott would be insane if Vikavolt didn't exist, or if Pokemon Ranger was in the format, but because none of those things are true, Whimsicott stays down on the tier list, because at any time at once, Pikarom just puts Vikavolt V in, and then it autos Whimsicott. Level Ball got reprinted, yeah. Okay, Octillery, another good card. Rapidstrike Search. Once during your turn, search your deck for a Rapidstrike card, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. You can't use more than 1 Rapidstrike Search each turn. Great card. Cool card. Should have made more cards like it. Crawdaunt, we don't need to look at it. Empoleon V. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's basic Pokemon in play have no abilities, except for Pokemon with a rule box. Pokemon V, Pokemon GX, etc. have rule box, then the attack is pretty terrible. This Pokemon should have just said, your opponent's basic Pokemon in play have no abilities. That's it. Just stop there. We're good to go. That's all we need. So y'all already know how I feel about that card. It's just completely underpowered. Why not just make it good? Bulk, 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 bulk. Luxray, Electric Slide, 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then you can switch this with one of your benched Pokemon. So this could have been better. And then Scarbeat, 100 damage, and if your opponent's active already has damage counters on it, this does 100 more. So that's solid. But why do you want to do 200 with a Pokemon that's going to get knocked out in one turn if you could do 200 with, let's say, Victini V-Max, which is going to actually tank a hit and even does more damage and doesn't need the pre-existing damage counters? Okay, true, we do have that Luxray, the Luxio that you can set on top of your deck with Guru to come into play right off the top of the deck. That's what we're talking about, right, Talonite? Keep in mind with the stage 2s, we are getting the Orbeetle, but even Orbeetle has to get set up itself, so that's also... And then you have to get energy to all these things, so... There's potential in all stage 2s, basically because of, Oh, it's a Rapidstrike card. I completely overlooked that. Thanks, chat. That's why you're here. Orbeetle and Luxray, Orbeetle V-Max. No, because Orbeetle V-Max doesn't work when you switch out into it. It works during your turn. It's not like Weezing or Flygon. So this is a Rapidstrike card. That is worth noting, 100%. So you can use, you can't use double Rapidstrike energy because that only works fighting water. But you can use Octillery to search it out. You can use some of the tools like the mustard that we're getting. So, okay, actually, Luxray isn't the worst, but still probably won't be played. Pachirisu sucks. Like, see, these kind of cards, just give them a flippin' emblem that says you can use their attacks turn 1. Why not? Like, what's the point of that even being there? Just let it attack turn 1. Come on. Like, this isn't rocket science. Claydol, we went over this in a recent video, and I think it sucks, so I don't even want to go over it right now. Necrozma V, I think this card's actually playable. I think this card's good. And it hits Urshifu for weakness. I think this is good. So Prism Ray 20 and then 20 to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, which I think that's actually a really good spread of damage. So it does 60 total for 1 energy, 20, 20, 20. I think that's really solid. Then Special Laser for Psychic Colorless, 100 plus damage. If this Pokemon has any special energy attached to it, this attack does 120 more damage. A scope on it too, so okay, so yeah, you could do 20, 50, 50 maybe. But yeah, so the attack does 120 if you have a special on it. And it has colorless cost, so you could really fill that with any special energy you want. So for 3 energy, 220, Psychic Pokemon hitting Urshifu for weakness seems pretty good in my opinion. You have Turbo Patch as acceleration, you have Psychic Rotom as acceleration, you have Porygon Z as acceleration. Lots of things you can use with this. I think this is a cool card. Useless. Oh, it evolves into Orbeetle, duh. We looked at this the other day in a video. For each energy, search your deck for a stage 2 and put it onto your bench. Cool card. Really cool. Love it. What's up, Commissarge? Just compare Necrozma to Zacian? I'd rather not, Mike. My blood pressure will rise, I promise you. Comey's here. Hide the kids. Marowak Bulk, Conkeldurr. If the defending Pokemon is an evolved Pokemon, it can't attack during your next turn. How about the defending Pokemon Zacian V kill it? How about that? Oh my god. 5 energy Onyx. There's a 7/1/1 Flygon. Yeah, that's Primal Flygon, Comey. It doesn't play Rare Candy. Because Vibrava can't be gusted up. It can't be hit by boss. It plays like Primal Groudon. Read the cards. I never thought about an Onyx laying down like that. It kind of looks like a dog curled up. How many subs for you to wear a live heartbeat monitor? I don't know. I honestly should do that every time Creatures reveals a set or makes an announcement about cards or something. That would be entertaining. Because I could feel a tension headache coming between my eyes from when I was talking about card design like 30 minutes ago. Mian Xiao was previously revealed. Spinning Whip. It can use Rapidstrike energy, so it can just attack for a single. Opponent's active is now confused. Shuffle this Pokemon, all cards attached to it into your deck. Decent. Can attack for a single energy attachment, so that's cool. Sandaconda discards 6 cards from the top of your deck. This attack does 60 damage for each fighting energy discarded in this way. That is bad. Phalanx, solid. We've looked at that before. Urshifu. We'll look at Rapidstrike, Urshifu V, and Urshifu V-Max, even though we've talked about it so much on the channel. This one is less good. The Urshifu V is less good than the single strike Urshifu V. But, I think the Rapidstrike Urshifu V-Max is better than the single strike Urshifu V-Max. So, remember, you can get this down to your bench turn 1 with the Mustard Supporter, which we will read soon. 330 HP, fighting Pokemon, Gigantamax, V-Max thingy, so 3 prize cards. The first attack, a Gale Thrust, does 30 plus 120 if this Pokemon moved from your bench to the active this turn, so it works like Golisopod's first impression, just buffed a bit. So it does 150 for a fighting energy. Escape Rope, right? Since the last time we looked at this, Escape Rope has been revealed. Thank you, Talonite. So yeah, Escape Rope has been revealed since the first time we looked at this, so Escape Rope will be good with it. So it does 150. This should, I've said this every time a set has come out in the past year, this one should do it. This one should finally, Pikarom, alright, be on your merry way now. Pikarom might finally be gone, maybe, probably not. But it was 150, so that one-shots Pika, Raichu, Dedenne, Crobat, Eternatus V, gets very close to one-shotting Eternatus V-Max. And then G-Max Rapid Flow, discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So that's a really good attack. Now this card I love. This card I love because it gives you choices. There's a reason to use Gale Thrust over G-Max Rapid Flow. There's a reason to use G-Max Rapid Flow over Gale Thrust. We don't get this with 99% of the cards today. Yeah, that's true. Pika just uses Mew Mew instead, and we're back at square one. Just use Mew 3, forehead. Oh yeah, we would play Jirachi Gx. Commissar reading the card! Let's go! Let's go! Yeah, Jirachi Gx to remove Psychic Weakness. And that's when Pikarom says Power Plant's back in the game, baby. We're playing Power Plant now. Sleepy Dreepy said it? Oh no, I missed it, sorry. I think I just tend to look at Comey's messages to make sure he's not saying anything that a mod in my chat shouldn't say. Because sometimes Commissar needs to, like, be calmed down a little bit. If they plant, then they don't play Mew 3. Gazzy, it's gonna happen. I've seen worse. The circle has become the square, and boy. This set comes out March 19th in America. It comes out January 22nd in Japan. So Urshifu V-Max is good. Steelix, Pawniard, Bisharp. If your opponent's active Pokemon is metal, this does 90 more damage. Okay, make it for 1 energy and give us a choice band, and then I'll talk. Carbonite V. This card's garbage. It does 190 and then can't use it again next turn, or 30 and your opponent can't retreat. As Mike said earlier about a different card, just compare it to Zacian V. It sucks. Now look at Corviknight V-Max. Prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities to this Pokemon. So as Jake pointed out earlier in the stream, it basically has a built-in stealthy hood. So they can't Giratina from Unified Minds away your special energy, your coding energy, so you don't get hit by fire weakness. But that Tina is going to rotate in 7 months, when rotation presumably happens, and this is a card being designed for the long haul, so that's not what they had in mind. This just feels like a useless ability at this point. Maybe you stop Zigzagoon pings. Okay, that could be okay. It is a beefy V-Max with free retreat though. And it swings 240 for 3 energy. Again, with the swinging 240, just make it lower so it doesn't one-shot V, but it does one-shot, 2-shot V-Max. But we're already too far gone with this. Bouffalant. This attacks does an additional 60 to your opponent's grass Pokemon. We need cards like this, but they do X a million damage to Rulebox Pokemon. Indeed, 10 damage times the number of cards in your hand. Copper has 4 energy costs. He's saying that in a good way because you can use buff padding with it. Talonite. I believe that's what the Dreepster meant. Oh, not 4 energy cost retreat. 4 energy cost to attack. Yeah, Copper Raja does less damage for 4 energy, I think, or the same amount of damage. I thought you meant 4 retreat costs, not 4 energy. Time to get 28 cards in my hand. All right, so listen, here's what we're gonna need. We're gonna need 4 Chinchinos. We're gonna need Lieutenant Surge's strategy. We're gonna need 2 hop. So let's see. Let's say we start with a 5-card hand. We Chinchino 4 times. That's a +4. So we're at 9 cards now. We Lieutenant Surge. Is hop the best thing? Nothing draws 4, right? Coach Trainer with a tag team in the active. So we Surge Coach Trainer to draw 8 more cards, but that's a -3 from the additional 9. So we're at 14 cards in hand. Okay, so if we just play Lieutenant Surge, Coach Trainer, we can do 150 damage for a Twin Energy with Indeedee. Can you play a game with Flygon, please? No, but I'll play a game with Colossal V-Max, which is built the same way. It's just not Flygon. I'm not really interested in Flygon. There's like a million deck profiles and articles and everything on it. Comey, it's old news. You sit behind dolls and you sit behind Snorlax until you're ready to go in because your opponent can't Guzma or boss it, whatever. Yo, what's up, Digitalmon? Just in time for the set review. We're a good chunk of the way through it, but I'm glad you can come by. It'll all be on the YouTube. No, Gassy, you made Sea King. I made Flygon. Thank you for the intellectual property. So, Billowing Fan, return a special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon to the bottom of your opponent's deck. Good card. Very good card. Balanced card. Great card. Energy Recycler, reprint, Level Ball, reprint, Tool Jammer. Interesting card. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's I like the design. This is one of those cards where I said, oh, they're going in the right direction, and they go boom, big I'm getting exhausted from complaining about how horribly designed V and V-Max Pokemon are. Yeah, just make cessation crystal, you cowards. Okay, so Tool Jammer, attach a Pokemon tool, whatever. As long as this tool is attached to your active Pokemon, tool cards attached to your opponent's active Pokemon have no effect. Rapidstrike Squirrel, where the Rapidstrike Pokemon, attach this to a Rapidstrike Pokemon. The Rapidstrike this card is attached to can use the attack on this card. For fighting colorless, you do 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Love it. Very awesome. The scrolls are really, really, really great inclusions. They're cool. Karina's Motivation, draw till you have 6. Just play Marnie instead. Yes, that would be great. Look at that. Ephus 10 has better ideas than the people who are paid to make Pokemon cards. That would be great. So what Ephus said in the chat is, would Tool Jammer be cool if you attached it to an opponent's Pokemon and it acted as a chaotic swell but for tools? That would be great. Or they could just reprint Headringer and I'd be happy. Because I felt a feeling that I haven't felt in years today when I attached a Headringer on a PTCGO game. Mustard Rapidstrike, only if it's the only card in your hand, put a Rapidstrike Pokemon from your discard onto your bench, then draw 5. This is really good. It's kind of like Maxi Archie, but for the same reason, I think Mustard's single strike stance is really balanced and thought out well. So is this. Cheryl, heal all damage from each of your evolution Pokemon, then discard all energy attached to the Pokemon you healed in this way. This is where Bronzong comes in with something like Corviknight or Kaparaja. I didn't roll it. Kaparaja. I really try. Kaparaja. Can't do it. Kaparaja. That was a little better. Heal all damage from each evolution. So this can actually make tanking decks something like worth your while. Tower of Waters, the retreat cost of each Rapidstrike Pokemon in play is colorless less, and Rapidstrike energy provides water and fighting 2 energy at a time. So I think Tower of Waters, what I like with this, in theory, if Empoleon V is even good enough to include in your deck, Tower of Waters gives Empoleon V free retreat, so you can leave this active to stop your opponent's gurus, their Jirachis, things like that. And if you go second, you can try to muster down your Urshifu and play out your stadium to give Empoleon free retreat, and then you go boom with your 1 energy 150 attack. So I believe that was everything. So, in review, no more playable battle style cards, Rapidstrike, Single Strike, more than we already saw. But the English release is going to have 60 battle style cards, so there's 24 more battle style cards to come before March 19th. When will we see those? I don't know. Those were what I was really excited for, but let's count the rest. So why would it only be these that are missing, I wonder? So 19 trainer cards. Let's count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's 18 trainer cards in there. So, do you think we're getting the Sabrina Bryson remake? Because there's 18 trainers here. We're getting 19 in the American set. So maybe we get the Sabrina Bryson reprint. you know, a tag team supporter a year and a half after tag team supporters were done being printed. Absolutely asinine. It's just, I am irate over that. Anyway. So, we're supposed to be getting 19 trainer cards and 6 full art supporter cards. How many of these were trainers, actually? How many of these were supporters? 1, 2... 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're missing 1 trainer card and 1 supporter card. So we're missing 1 trainer card and 1 of them is a supporter because we're supposed to have 6 full art supporters. There's only 5 supporters so far in the set. Looking like Sabrina Bryson. Oh, Honey full art. Would they try and put Honey in battle styles? Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Yes, he's like, yes, Honey, let's go with that. Okay, great. So we cracked that case. Maybe Honey. 6 Pokemon V-Max. We've got that, right? We've got Urshifu. We've got Flapple Victini Corviknight. So we have our 6 Pokemon V-Max. 12 Pokemon V. Do we have that? Wait, and 6... Why are we getting 12 Pokemon V and 16 full art Pokemon V? Oh! Wait. That means that we're going to get 4 of these Pokemon V regular arts outside of the main set. Something similar to Surfetched. So we're getting more full art V Pokemon than actual V Pokemon. So some of these are going to be released as regular arts outside of the set. Both Urshifu are getting boxes. Yeah, but there's already these count as the 12 Pokemon, as the 12 V. Okay. Let's count these up. So we're supposed to get 12 Pokemon V, but then 4 additional full art Pokemon Vs in the set. Octillery is cool. Octillery is a great card. That's one of the well-designed ones. Okay, so we got 1. The alt arts are the, those are going to be in the boxes. So those aren't the full art ones. Right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Stoutland V, my god. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's our 12 Vs. Those don't count in here because I think... Oh, actually, no, wait, it does say, here's what you can expect from the expansion coming out in... Oh, no, yeah, so... This could be, like, the Blaziken we haven't seen yet. It could be the Zeraora we haven't seen yet. It could be other Single Strike and Rapidstrike V Pokemon that are going to come in the set as only full art. But this also leaves... So this is interesting. So we're getting the 12 Vs we just looked at and counted, but we're getting all 12 of those as full arts, but then 4 additional V Pokemon as full arts as well. So we might actually be getting some more reveals, honestly, because these are just the regular cards, and we'll see the secret rare cards revealed somewhere between today and early next week. I don't know. alt arts of Urshifu, it says full art. So if it's an alt art like is in the collection box, then no. And if it's an alt art V-Max, then no as well. Yeah, we can, it's right here. So we're missing Tornadus, right? Is there a Tornadus yet? Did we skip it? I don't think so. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tornadus, Cinderace, Zeraora, Blaziken. We're missing those guys. That's 4. No, but these are supposed to be Single Strike and Rapid Strike. That's why they're on these separate sides. I'm not talking about the promo. Oh wait, the promo ones, are those Single Strike and Rapid Strike? There's a Lycanroc and other artwork as well. Okay. Well, I'm holding out for it to be Blaziken V. Kecleon and Dugtrio too. Yeah, so we are missing battle style cards. But it's just weird that Japan isn't getting them all and we're supposed to get them in 2 months. I guess so. Yeah, so Japan is getting more battle style cards in the Lance, what is it, Jet Black Lance set and the other one. Oh, Gazerbean was happy when I rated him. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, so Jet Black Lance and the other, whatever they're called, the Calyrex set. It's confirmed that we're getting 2 different forms of Calyrex V-Max, and that set is confirmed to have battle style cards in it. We got Galarian Slowbro and Mew V before Japan. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. I don't get it. Wasn't Mew V in Champion's Path? Or am I just bad at remembering? Darkness. I think I mean Darkness. Well, all right. I guess that is the review of Single Rapid Strike. So if you are watching this on YouTube in the future, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon TCG content. And if you're watching live, thank you for hanging out and watching live with me.